Hey guys, for this video, we're going to check out something called 7th chords. Very, very similar to what we've already looked at with the major and the minors, just now we're adding in an extra note to them. So whereas before we had 3-note chords, we're now going to play 4-note chords, and they're really good fun. I hope you enjoy these ones. Okay, so to start off with the boring theory bit, we have previously looked at what we call triads, i.e. 3-note chords, the major chords, minor chords, sus chords, all of them. What we're going to start doing now is adding in an extra note. In this case, go figure, the 7. If I go back to my A major example, I can now take the 1, the 3, the 5, and now the 7. Adds a really interesting quality to what it is we're doing. So let's jump straight in. We're going to check out, firstly, what are known as major 7s. They've got this really nice vibe to them. Again, this might not work for you, but to me, it's always made me think of a bubble bath. I hope you see what I mean here. If this is a major chord, bright, happy, in your face. Here's a major 7. It's just so chilled out. Legitimately, these will always make me think of a bubble bath. So let's jump straight in. We're going to start with an A major 7. This is quite a nice shape. It's very similar to our A major chord, but just a subtle difference. Make the A major again for a second. So that's 2nd fret of the D, 2nd fret of the G, 2nd fret of the B. We're going to move our middle finger, so now it's on the D string. Our first finger is going to sit on the 1st fret of the G string. So notice it's very similar to the A major chord we had, but I've just moved 1 fret down 1. And I'm playing that from the A string down. Again, you can hit the E string if you want, but avoid it if you can, because it just sounds a bit muddy otherwise. Nothing wrong with that. All right, up next, D major 7. Go back to your A major chord. Move it all down a string. So now we're on the 2nd fret of the G, the B, and the E. We're going to play that from the D string down. Notice how similar these shapes are to the original major chords. Here's a D major. Here's a D major 7. Yeah, very, very similar. Just something a little extra added in there. Up next, we're going to try a C major 7. Now, if you're already familiar with the C major chord, you might be dreading this next one. But actually, it's easier. Make a C major chord. Take your first finger off. Again, with this one, try and avoid the thickest string. It's not the end of the world if you hit it, because that note is inside this chord, but do try and avoid it if you can. Yeah, lovely. Okay, the next one is a little bit odd. This is one where we can't play it open, so we kind of have to play it like a bar chord. You've got 2 ways around this one. It's going to be an E shape major 7. So you can move it anywhere you want on the board, and it will always be a major 7, but unfortunately we can't play it open. I'd like you to make an A minor chord to start. Simple as that. First thing you can do is bring your thumb over to the 1st fret of the thickest string. Now, if you don't like using your thumb, or the guitar neck won't allow it, try making the A minor chord again, but instead of going middle finger, 3rd finger, 1st finger, try 3rd finger, little finger, middle finger. And then our 1st finger will go on the 1st fret of the thickest string. The key with this one is, try and mute the A string. You don't want that one ringing out in this. So we're basically playing the E string, the D string, the G string, and the B string. Cool thing about this shape is, wherever you put it, it's still a major 7 chord. Just with, different notes. Okay, those are the major 7s. We have got A major 7, D major 7, C major 7, and what I'm going to refer to as our E-shaped major 7. Personally, I like using my thumb. Up next, we're going to check out the minor 7s. So again, same idea. It's a minor chord, but we've added an extra note. Difference here is we're not adding a 7, we're adding a flat 7. So now, if I go back to my A major scale, I'll have 1, flat 3, 5, flat 7. It's a really nice chord. Personally, once I got these down, I very rarely use just minor chords. Minor 7s, breakfast, lunch and dinner, every single time. Okay, we'll start with A again. If you can make an A minor chord for me, so that's middle finger on the 2nd fret of the D, 3rd finger on the 2nd fret of the G, 1st finger on the 1st fret of the B. We're then just going to remove our 3rd finger. So we have now got, if I compare that to an A minor chord for a second, you see that an A minor 7 feels way more almost nostalgic sounding. Like if a minor chord is sad, a minor 7's like you remembered something that was sad. Again, that explanation might not work for you, but kind of works for me. So minor chord, really in your face. Minor 7, just a little bit more laid back sounding. They're good fun with these ones. Okay, that's an A minor 7. E minor 7, you're gonna love this one. Make an E minor chord, which is 2nd fret of the A, 2nd fret of the D, get rid of the D string. Just a nice, simple one-note chord. Nothing wrong with that. Up next, we're going to have a D minor 7. Now, I'm not a big fan of this shape because it's just a bit of a pain. Again, you've got two ways of doing this. You can either lay your first finger on the 1st fret of the E string and the B string, and then add your middle finger to the 2nd fret of the G string. Play it from the D string down. Problem with this one is this is a bit fiddly and a bit awkward. If you want to be a bit more precise with it, try adding in your middle finger instead of just using the 1st finger. So now we're going to have 1st finger on the B string, 2nd finger on the E string, and our 3rd finger is going to be on the 2nd fret of the G string. So we go from a D minor to a D minor 7. Really hear the vocal qualities in them and how the tonality kind of changes between them. So we have done our A minor 7, our E minor 7, our D minor 7. Now the next shape for the minor 7s is tricky. If you want to skip this one, I do not blame you. It's on the PDF, check it out, but this is called a C minor 7. It looks like this. Not the most ideal shape in the world with a 4-fret spread. The cool thing about this one is it's totally movable. So don't practice it down here to start. Practice it somewhere up here maybe, like this. Wherever I put it, it's always a minor 7 chord. So I'm going to keep it to the sheet for this one. My middle finger is on the 3rd fret of the A string. My 1st finger is on the 1st fret of the D string. My 3rd finger is on the 3rd fret of the G string. And my little finger is on the 4th fret of the B string. Something really nice about this kind of voicing of a minor 7. Really chilled out, laid back kind of sounding. It's good fun, these ones. Now, as far as minor 7's concerned, that's them. The next ones are dominant 7s. Now, dominant 7s are really interesting. They've got this weird history that's all classical music and blah, blah, blah. You don't need to know it, but if you're interested in it, check it out because it's kind of cool. In terms of how they used to be used, you had to resolve every single time. So if I played like, the next chord had to be this. And as soon as you hear it, it's like, yeah, that's classical music. But then the blues happened and suddenly dominant 7s are everywhere. You can put them wherever you want. They're really great fun. They sit nicely between a major 7 and a minor 7, in the sense that we've still got the 1, the 3, and the 5 of a major chord, but instead of now playing the 7, we're playing the flat 7. The weird thing about this chord is it means that we've got this inside it. Which, yeah, objectively, isn't maybe the sound you want to go for. If it is, power to you. So just be aware that there's some weird notes inside of these chords, but they are great fun. We're going to start with an A dominant 7. Make your A major chord again. Now, just take the middle finger off. So we have now got... It's really important with this one, just make sure that the G string is definitely ringing out. You don't want to mute this one, else you kind of lose the point of making the dominant 7 chord in the first place. E next. Make me an E major chord. There we go. Same idea. We're just going to take the 3rd finger off now. And again, make sure the D string is really ringing out with this one. Just compare it to an E major chord. E dominant 7. Going back to the idea of associating chords and scales with ideas, this one again seems really weird, but a dominant 7 to me has always seemed like the major chord's cooler older brother, like a major chord you do actually want to hang out with. Again, if that doesn't work for you, I don't blame you, but that one is always stuck in my head. I don't know why. Okay, D dominant 7. This is basically a D major chord, but flipped. So instead of going 2, 3, 2, I'm now going 2, 1, 2. So middle finger on the second fret of the G, first finger on the first fret of the B, third finger on the second fret of the thinnest D string. It's going to sound like this, played from the D string down. Just compare it. D major, D dominant 7. It's nice, it's pretty cool. Up next, we're going to try something called a G dominant 7. I want you to start by making a C major chord. Now, this is a weird example, but again, bear with me on this one. This looks like a C major chord you put on one of those medieval torture racks to stretch people out. We've literally got C major and we spread it out. So our first finger is going to go down to the E string, and our third finger and middle finger, they're going to go up to the E string and the A string. And that gives us... Yeah, there's really nothing wrong with that. That is just a cool chord. To compare it to G major for a second. Yeah, nice. And that leaves us with a C dominant 7. Now with this one, make the C major chord again. We're going to take our little finger and we're going to pop it on the third fret of the G string. Simple as that. Again, with this one, try and avoid the thickest string if you can. Just compare it to a C major chord. Yeah, nice. Now, in terms of where would I use these, which is a great question. Major 7s and dominant 7s, I'm going to put them to the side for a second. Minor 7's really straightforward. If it's a minor chord, try playing a minor 7 instead. You can add this really nice quality on top of it. If you're playing a major chord, the question is, am I going to play a dominant or am I going to play a major 7? Generally speaking, probably major 7. But try throwing the dominant 7 in now and again. Sometimes it won't work, sometimes it will really nicely. The reasons why is for another video, but have fun with these. Check them out. Genuinely, they're really good fun.